I just couldn't stop repeating myself about this 23,000 yen price tag over here. It boggles my mind. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven, bringing you your weekly figure news fix, this time around 17th to 22nd of March 2025. For this week, we do have quite a lot of figures on the genuine side. On the third party side, a little bit less, but still a lot of good stuff. So if you were to ask me my opinion about this week, I really struggled to come up with a title for today's video. So each time I make a title for my weekly figure news fix, it is usually the main highlight of the week. But there is nothing that really stands out that much on the genuine figure side. But there is a very consistent pattern over there, and that is, well, anime characters getting a lot of figures this week. Like, really anime characters, not game characters. So we will get to that in a second. For third parties, this is possibly the very first week in year 25 where the third party stuff are a little bit nicer than the genuine figures. Mainly because of one Honkai style figure and also a Blue Archive one that we are about to see in the third party section later. So without further ado, let's move on to Hobby Link Japan for the genuine anime figures. And we go through the scale figures as usual, starting off with the first one, 1x4 scale. The most expensive one this week is this 2B from Nier Automata Japanese doll version by Furio and Phoenix, 180,000 yen, releasing in January year 26. So as we all know, Furio has this line of 1x4 scale figures that they dress up in this so-called handmade Japanese yukata or kimono or those kind of traditional outfit. Yeah, and they are supposedly handmade, which I'm inclined to believe. Like, why would you lie about that, right? But regardless, despite the fact that they are kind of handmade, I still regard them as grossly overpriced. And this 2B figure is not too different. Like, out of so many 1x4 scale 2B figures out there, if you have 200,000 yen to spend, this should be last in your list. There are so many third parties at 1x4 scale that are way nicer than this, and the pricing is not too far off, but you get something way more detailed. Yes, resin is a bit, scary in a way, but I would rather you get those. Yeah. Each time you ask me, I have the same opinion. Like, this is not worth 180k. It might even bargain bin because there are a lot of Japanese doll figures by Furio that get like a 50,000 yen bin later on. So I don't see it as being worth it to pre-order this early, I mean. Moving on to the next 1x4 scale, we have another overpriced 1x4. This time around Yui Kotegawa from To Love Through Darkness. Just a pink bikini, 36,000 yen by Union Creative. Yeah, Union Creative and Freeing are actually working together. Freeing is involved. And this is coming out in September year 25. Once again, nope, can't recommend it. If this bins, then maybe. Like 25,000 yen or less, maybe. But otherwise, for a plain low detail bikini figure, paying 36,000 yen for it, no, don't do it. Please don't. Moving on to the next 1x4 scale Beatless Leisha, pretty random. And I actually started watching Beatless anime back then when it started airing, and then I stopped around episode 4 or 5 or so, and I stopped watching it since then, and I can't remember why, but I'm thinking of getting back to give it another shot. Yeah, because I really like science fiction stuff, so we will see. As for Beatless Leisha, even though this is 30,000 yen, making her worth a little bit more than the other 1x4 scales, if you want a figure of Leisha, look for the good small ones. Yep, the one with all those mecha parts surrounding her. They are a bit small, unfortunately. They are 1x8 instead of 1x7, but their prices have come down over the years after released, and they are great figures despite the smaller 1x8 scale. Yeah, they look amazing. And until today, well, I should have purchased one by now, but I did not because, my priorities are somewhere else. That is the unfortunate part, but I want one of those. In fact, the last release by Good Smile, it was so similar to that Nikkei Cinderella figure with all those shield parts surrounding her, Yeah, it is kind of nice. Moving on to the next one, another random re-release in a way because it is Barrel Leg Bunny version. This came out with stockings before. We have Teliha Testarossa from Full Metal Panic Invisible Victory, which is like the newest season that only ended in 12 episodes and they left us hanging. And until today, there is no continuation in sight because I really like Full Metal Panic as a mecha series, including the older ones from like the 1990s or early 2000s, I think. I don't remember the year it came out, but it is one of my favorite mecha shows that is not a Gundam. So they made like a new series a lot later in the 2010s. Like 10 years after the last series came out in the 2000s. And then, yeah, they left everything hanging. It was so infuriating. Where's the main character, that turquoise hair girl? I can't remember her name. Where's her? Why are we releasing this one but not the main character? So, I don't know, man. Maybe a new season is coming. I don't know because I don't really follow anime news. Moving on to the next one, now we go into 1/6 scale territory and starting off with my favorite. If you haven't watched this anime yet, please watch it, but of course lock your doors and make sure that your Bluetooth speakers downstairs is not connected to your laptop upstairs, right? So, Imai Juminchi wa Doyara Gale no Tamaribani, okay, whatever. H anime, yes. And it is an amazing show. Like, I don't even care that the boy is kind of like a shota in a way, but the girls are hot. Right? So this is the first one and hopefully more to come. There are like 4 girls, I think. And this is something very interesting because there are 2 versions of this figure by Nocturne. Nocturne is a great edgy figure brand by the way. Man, my brain is not functioning properly today. I'm not sure why. But anyways, this is only 20,000 yen. And yeah, very reasonable because 1/6 scale. And the sculpting of the torso is nice. But at the same time, this is a very plain and simple figure. So she shouldn't be too expensive. And I'm glad to see this costing only 20,000 yen. But no, this is not cast offable. That's the bad news. And if you want to cast her off, you need to buy a second entire separate figure, which is an AmiAmi exclusive, unfortunately, for 24,200 yen. And interestingly, I could not find the standard version on AmiAmi, only this exclusive version. I went through the pictures and this is all you get, like you can't cover her up. If you want to cover her up, you buy the standard version. So this is one of the weirdest things I've seen lately. Like 2 separate figures and one website is allowed to sell the limited version only. The other one is allowed to sell the standard version only. I don't think I've seen anything like this happen before. If money is no object to you, you want to get both, by all means go ahead. But if you only could choose one, my personal opinion, I prefer the Save for Work version. Not to say you can display it at the workplace, but I prefer the standard version by HLJ because the ribbons are tying her up and squeezing her oppai, squeezing her body, so you get this body carving. Like it is being squeezed in and then comes right out again, Yeah, the sculpting, the shape is nicer, more detailed because of the ribbons squeezing her body. So I would prefer the standard version if I could only choose one, yeah. But the face over there is fabulous. I love this figure so much. Moving on to the next one, we have a low-budget scale figure by Enso Toys. Yep, Chinese figure brand. Vanya, original character, 10,811k. Alright, October release quite soon. And despite being only a bunny figure, this is so nice. And I think the biggest contributing factor is definitely her face. Like without that blush and without her mouth open, like that tsundere face over there, without that face over there, this would be like a really bland bunny figure for sure. So the face will make or break this figure. And I'm not too worried because there aren't really any bad Chinese figure brands nowadays. Sure, some are a little bit more average, some are better, but really bad ones, I don't think there are any. So this is a very safe pre-order. And yeah, go for it. Moving on to the next 1x6 skill, this is pretty random, but a quick mention over here. 1x6 skill MLB, skill statue MLB players, Shohei Ohtani, Los Angeles Dodgers. Must be, yep, baseball. By McFarlane Toys. I see, Western figure brand, no wonder. Yeah, I heard that baseball is pretty popular in the US and in some countries like Pakistan, India. Yeah, not my kind of thing. 43k for 1x6 scale statue is, yeah, I know it is pricey, but no, Western figure brands. I mean, Hot Toy style, for example, they're never cheap to begin with. When you license anything coming out from the West, including Marvel DC characters, look at the Figmas, the action figures, and so on. Revoltech, yeah, they cost more than the average pricing. So there you go, licensing cost. Moving on to the next one here. Now we go into 1x7 skill territory. Blue Archive Kikyo by Good Smell, just under 17,000 yen. You know, I'm seeing this very interesting trend where Blue Archive figures, a lot of them are low budget stuff. Not to say they are cheap, but a lot of their skill figures are under 20,000 yen. Meanwhile, the Nikkei ones, pricey, 20 plus to 30 plus, and there are even 1x4 skills. So it feels like, I don't know, a lot of the Blue Archive stuff are targeted towards the budget end of skill figure collectors, and the Nikkei ones are the premium ones. And as you can tell, I have expensive taste, so I have been paying attention to Nikkei a lot more. However, this is a very nice figure, and you look at the shading on the skirt over there, right in the middle, that brighter shade of blue, surrounded by dark navy blue. That is nice paint work. I like to see that in anime figures. So if you are a big fan of Blue Archive, this is a must-have. Simple but nicely executed. Yep. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have two RAM figures. So finally, we are back to spamming RAMs, and I don't know if this will keep going on in the coming weeks. In the previous few years, we keep getting an endless amount of RAM figures, and then things were starting to look a bit better. Finally, they are no longer spamming it, and suddenly we have two of them this week. Yeah, anime characters. So this is Combat Outfit version by Kadokawa, 23,000 yen, November release. And this is the standard version. If you want her, maybe get the deluxe one at AmiAmi, the limited version, AmiAmi exclusive version, where you get an extra wing faceplate over here for 25k. Yeah, a bit more expensive. However, my favorite RAM this week between the two has to be this version over here, the Aquarius version by Design Coco. So just 20,500 yen after a small discount at HLJ, releasing next April. 13 months of wait. So are they going to do like all 12 zodiac signs? So there would be 24 figures when you include RAM. Maybe just buy your zodiac sign, right? Don't collect the whole set. That would be insane. We'll see if they continue making more for other zodiac signs, but this is, how do I put it? She's wearing a very simple outfit, but the concept, I like the concept. Okay, I still like this one a lot more than the combat outfit version, where the combat outfit version is probably based on some cover. Yeah, light novel cover or something like that. So the next one here, we have two Idolmaster figures. The first one is Aimas Gakuen Hiro Shinosawa. I remember this one very well. This is from One Fest by Fat Company. The thing I'm not good at version. So she's not good at reading. She's not good at studying. I don't like studying either. Right, this is almost 23,000 yen. A little bit surprised that this is not an AmiAmi exclusive and coming out in January year 26. Well, you see, the thing is that I really like what Fat Company has done in this figure. I'm sure you guys have noticed the paint work, right? Like how detailed it is. The shading on her hair, very well defined. Sculpting on the hair. Dark grey towards the edges, the end. And even on her shirt, even though it is just like white sweater of some kind, all of the folds, right? That is not shadow from lighting. That is real shading. And I really like what Fat Company did over here. This is like one of the nicer Fat Company figures in recent month or two. Detail level is probably inferior to those Uma Musume figures which are AmiAmi exclusives. But paintwork wise, the refinement look excellent. And I hope that, yeah, Fat Company get better. Like, who doesn't wish for that, right? Everyone wants excellent Fat Company figures because they keep getting their hands on excellent sculpting only to mess up the final step, which is the painting. So as long they fix that, man, I can recommend Fat Company stuff to anyone. Yeah, they're almost there. The second IMAS figure over here, also Idolmaster Gakuen and also from One Fest. This is by Neon Max. Ume Hanami, just under 15,000 yen. A little bit surprised by how cheap she is because I don't really have much faith in Japanese brands giving us value. Nice to see this for once. So Neon Max, to me, I know them best for their Kosaka Blue Archive figure. Very expensive now. That was a great figure. And you know, when I saw this in One Fest back then, I thought that this would be around 20,000 yen. Because while this is not Neon Max, I would like to bring in this company called Wave Corporation, where they have a bunch of, yeah, JK figures of idol characters or JK figures of those from Girls and Panzer, and they cost 18 to 20,000 yen, even though they're pretty plain and simple. So this is not too different, just a JK figure when you look at the outfit design. But I was expecting 18 to 20k as well. So 15k is a surprise to me. In a good way. Yeah, so if you like IMAS Gakuen, maybe consider picking one up. This is not a bad price for a figure company with a very good track record, I mean. Okay, moving on to the next one. Oh, this is possibly the best value this week. 1x7 scale Arknights Schwartz dress version by Mietos. 13,000 yen only this November release. So if you couldn't afford the outer one, then this is good enough. This is 1/4 of the price of the outer one. The outer one is like 45,000 yen. Obviously, a way superior figure than this one, but this is good value, isn't it? Right? And then I saw this one comment in my Facebook page related to this figure that I did not reply to. We have people accusing that like Chinese brands are stealing manufacturing methods from Japanese brands or from other people. Like, how do you even steal a manufacturing method? I don't get it. I'm not even sure where did you get this information from, or it is just a random accusation from a hater online, because we have elitists in the hobby of collecting anime figures where only the expensive stuff are worthy. And then when these people see you collect the cheap stuff, and the cheap stuff are getting better and better, yeah, they feel really bad about it. People like that do exist, right? The toxic people. Every community have their own toxic members inside. And I have no idea what do you mean by stealing a manufacturing process. Like, this isn't like a 3 nanometers microchip. You'll see NVIDIA or, TSMC manufacturing. How do you even steal the manufacturing process of an anime figure? I just don't get this accusation, man. The manufacturing process is not even something patented. So how do you steal something that is not patented, not copyrighted in the first place? Yes, Bandai has very specific manufacturing processes which are patented that even Kotobukiya and other Japanese brands have no access to, which is multicolor injection molding. You know, when you buy Gundam kits or Gunpla, sometimes one single runner will have 3 or 4 parts that are connected to each other, and they are of different colors, and they are not painted, they are injection molded. So one single sprue, one single runner, multiple colors. Yeah, from what I know, that is something Bandai has patented and specialized in, and even other Japanese brands couldn't figure it out yet. Yeah, but that is Gunpla, that is model kit. Like, everyone knows that PVC figures are injection molded. So how do you even steal the manufacturing process? I don't get this accusation part. It makes no sense to me. Yeah. So back to this figure over here. All I can tell you is to get one. If you love Arknights, yeah, this is excellent value. And I think Mietos is manufacturing a line of Arknight figures where they're all wearing very nice, fancy dresses that you see people wear to ball parties or weddings, and they cost really low, like anywhere between 12 to 15k. So you should check out those. Moving on to the next figure over here. 1x7 scale chained soldier Tenka Izumo Chinese dress version. Another anime character. By Belfine. So as you can see, they are discounting it on pre-order. Like HLJ does not discount their figures much, but they are discounting this one. Maybe because they won't get many pre-orders, right? Similar pattern I'm seeing where they discounted the Idolmaster, no, the Love Live figures, not Idolmaster. In the previous week, they discounted a PM Office A Love Live figure because that thing won't sell very well at the asking price either. So this is 17,400 yen after a small discount, September release. And yeah, this is hard to recommend because I think Union Creative, was it Union Creative, has a much nicer figure of Tenka Izumo coming. If you are a big fan of her, you want multiple figures of her, by all means go ahead, but there are nicer skills of her out there. Yeah, not yet released, I think. At least she is cheap. 17k is pretty cheap. Okay, moving on to the next figure. Another anime figure, not game figure. Delicious in Dungeon, Martial Student version by Alice Glint. 22,300 yen September release. Well, Alice Glint was a brand that does not really announce many figures. Recently, they're really, upping the pace. They're making more stuff recently. And this is a very nice figure of Martial. I like it. I'm not sure if this is better or the Good Smile version is better, but they're quite close. This is not bad at all. I don't know if Alice Glint will give us a round disc base. I hope that they do, even though this figure can sit on any surface without a dedicated disc base. The reason being, it is not ideal to have the bare bottom of any anime figure in contact with the surface of your table, of your shelves, or anywhere you display your figure. The safest is obviously glass, like your Detolf, your Bin Ladens, Blalidens from IKEA. If it is actual glass, then it is fine. But otherwise, the reason why I don't recommend putting a bare figure's bottom on any surface is that you might introduce micro scratches or worse, paint transfer. Especially with shells like the ones behind me. If it is not natural wood, it was painted in some way, be it spray painting or other methods, then you might risk paint transfer. So having a disc base is better if I had to choose. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next figure right here. Nana Daiba from Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight. I saw this title in an anime torrent site, and yes, I pirate my anime. I don't care. Because the way I support the anime and game industry is to throw money at the merchandise and figures. So I'm not subscribing to questionable companies like Crunchyroll. No. So back to this figure over here. I've seen that title before in anime websites. I did not watch it. Is it like some idol anime? That is probably adapted from a game. Probably. But I never bothered to check it out. But this is so badass. And this character design over here, she reminds me of the early and mid-2000s anime back then. Yeah, borderline classic anime where JKs that have backgrounds in martial art. Think of Ikitozen. Think of many other titles where you have schoolgirls sword fighting. Yeah, this is nostalgic in a way. Yeah. Is that a Santa jacket or whatever that is? She still looks pretty badass. I have no idea who this is at all. But 20,000 yen for this entire package over here by Furyu is actually not bad at all. Not a bad price. Yep, pretty reasonable. Okay, moving on to the next one here. This is also one of the main highlights this week because wow, that dress is prettier than a wedding cake. So we have Eye Exhibition version from Oshinoko, also from anime. By Kadokawa, 22,500 yen. Very reasonable for something this detailed, this intricate. Releasing in December 2025. And this is possibly the new #1 Eye figure. Before this, Kadokawa released a scale of her already. Furyu also has one. Both are pretty good, in fact. But this is the new queen of all Eye figures. Yep. That dress is amazing. Whew. For a character that is dead by the end of episode 1, she sure is getting a lot of figures. Even Miyazono Kaori had to die at the last episode to get that many figures made. Yep. I'm sorry if you already have an eye figure or two, you need this one, you need another one. This is stunning. Alright, of course, AmiAmi exclusive. I nearly forgot. So at almost 25,000 yen, AmiAmi exclusive, you get that wing faceplate over there. Yep. So, well, get it on AmiAmi, I suppose. And stop for a second. I can't believe that I made this mistake. So, the problem with Hobby Link Japan is that their search, the search engine is kind of flawed. It is kind of buggy sometimes. The items you search for, they never show up. So I tend to look at figures on pre-order in the past 7 days or so. And this figure of Devil Homura did not show up, and I can't believe that I forgot about her, even though this is supposed to be the highlight of this week. So I only discovered this figure, I only remembered when I was editing a video, and there is no way I could leave out this figure for this week. I need to talk about this figure, and this has to be the highlight this week, not Hoshino Ai from Oshi no Go by Kadokawa. Originally, and even near the end of today's video, you'll see me talking about Ai being the best this week. No, this is the best one here, Homura. So coming from Good Smile Company, we have Puella Madoka Magica the movie, Devil Homura at 1/8 scale, unfortunately, 22,700 yen December release. Now what boggles my mind over here is that this figure is under 23,000 yen. Normally, I would expect something like this to cost even more, but I'm not sure whether the scale of this figure, a little bit smaller than usual, is related to it, like 1/7 to 1/8, how much money you are saving in terms of material cost. Like, not as much as people may think. And yeah, they gave her that huge base over there just to raise the figure up so that she looks bigger than she actually is. Now, what was the scale of that Ultimate Madoka that came out like 10 years ago? Was it 1/8 or 1/7? 1/8 as well, right? And that was, 15, 16k, but that was 10 years ago. And I just couldn't figure out how Good Smile can price this thing at 23,000 yen when there are other figure companies out there coming up with way simpler figures that cost way more. For those of you who love Madoka, and even more so Homura, I get the feeling where Homura is the most popular character in this series, not Madoka herself. This is a must-have, despite the smaller 1/8 scale. Personally, that is the biggest disappointment to me. Like, I would pay 30,000 yen for a 1/7 scale if I were a big Madoka fan, but I'm not exactly a fan of this anime series. I mentioned it before. But regardless of what my preferences are, my very subjective preferences, boy, I just couldn't stop repeating myself about this 23,000 yen price tag over here. It boggles my mind. So yeah, a big thumbs up from me. Pre-order this figure, and let's get back to the studio to continue the rest. Moving on to the next one here, another anime character that I did not expect to like at all. We are looking at 1/7 scale Sora Hero Utility Minami Aoba Nice Shot Challenge by Mimeyoi, 15,000 yen, February 26 release. Okay, so Sora Hero Utility, I'm not sure if there is a VN or manga of that kind because I am an anime only person, and there is an ongoing anime on with this same exact title, must be from this anime, and I haven't watched it yet because it is a sports anime, you know, like I'm normally not a fan of sports anime. There are some exceptions, I mean, like Haikyuu, but in general, I'm not a big fan of them. I saw golf, I was like, golf, that is something rich people play, I can't relate. So I did not watch it, but I certainly did not expect a random seasonal anime to get such a nice looking scale figure from a brand like Mimeyoi, which normally makes 1x4 scale figures. And this is pretty cheap for a Japanese brand. Yeah. And a pretty detailed figure. Well, not the most detailed thing, but the reason why I'm saying this figure is detailed is because of the paintwork. Like, how many shades of blue are there on her shirt alone? Once again, I'm a photographer, I can tell. This is not shadows from lighting. All these different shades of blue color, the light, the darker ones, it is actual painting. And to see this level of paint work on a 15,000 yen figure, I am kind of impressed. Like, I was about to brush off this figure when she went on pre-order on day 1. In fact, I almost mistook her as that Dainana OG Shota boy. Yeah, from that Prince anime. That the season 2 is coming out later this year, I think. I watched the season 1. I almost mistaken that for him, because that was pretty popular for an anime. And then, no, this is Sora Hero Utility when I double checked it again earlier today. And the more I go through these photographs, the more I'm impressed. Yes. And this base over there, wow. That must be replicating a golf trophy, I think. Must be. Golf tournament trophy. This is a lot of effort for 15,000 yen. I have to commend Mimeyoi over here for such a nice figure. Oh, I just noticed the base. So you get that transparent piece over here and you put it inside this box. That is, yup, a lot of effort for a 1/7 scale that cost 15k. And Mimeyoi, I would rather you come up with stuff like this rather than making 1x4s all the time, where some of them did have QC issues. So if you were to ask me, the surprise of the week, it is this figure. Yeah, I did not expect something like this to turn out so good looking. Moving on to the next figure, we have 2 low budget scale figures at 1/7 scale, and this one is my favorite among the 2 because I love my twin tail lollies. This is delicious. Shino Simpson version illustrated by Rico, 8,000 yen by Magic Arts. Hell yeah. I'm buying one. I'm buying one after release. I don't think I'll be pre-ordering that early yet, but no harm pre-ordering early if you feel like doing so. The thing is that this thing is releasing in December as well. So many stuff releasing in December, so I had to be really selective with what I pre-order. So yeah, I'll pre-order the expensive one, the cheaper ones I'll wait until after release. But yes, I want this figure so badly. Slurp. Okay, the second lolly figure over here, we have Mashiro Kanon swimsuit version by Race Dream, 7,800 yen, December release. This one is quite a lot more detailed. But you know what? For some reason, this girl is a bit more attractive. I'm not sure why. I think it is the face being more attractive. But if you set aside the face, everything else, then this one, the outfit is better. But this is also releasing in December. God. Regardless of which one I like more, I'm planning to get both. Why not both? Yes, only 8,000 yen each. I'll get both. Alright, moving on to the next one here. This is non-scale, but they are closer to 1/7, I think. From Frame Arms Girl, Magatsuki by Kotobukiya, 20,000 yen October release. So, a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we had Durga I or Durga 1. That one is one of the contenders for Best Airs of the Year. This one, well, it is not quite the best, but still really nice to smash, you know, to plop, plop, plop if you're into that. So, 20k is actually nice. And this figure, this character, reminds me of a very similar looking character in this edgy anime and game. What's the name again? Senran Kagura. Of course, I don't remember her name, but this reminds me of that one character in Senran Kagura. Very similar, in fact. That shinobi ninja outfit look, yeah, with a katana. I can highly recommend this one. Moving on to the next one, this is a re-release, Union Creatives CC from Code Geass, 18,000 yen, only releasing this September. This CC is fine, like this is the OG CC, the original CC. This is what she initially looked like in the earlier parts of season 1. But my favorite one is the one by Mega House where she is leaning against a Roman style column. She's leaning against it like that and then sticking her butt out. That one is big thumbs up. I don't have one because I couldn't afford it at the time, and that's the thing with this hobby. Too many stuff that you want, but there is no way for you to buy everything. Is this worth it? Yeah, if you want the most original CC, then this is worth considering. Moving on to the next skill figure. This went on pre-order on Saturday, I think, last Saturday. Mushroom Girls Series number 6 Marasmias Hematocephalus. Okay, must be the scientific name of some mushroom, I think. Reverse Studio, Chinese figure brand, just under 18,000 yen, March release, year 26. Okay, so a number of these Mushroom Girls series figures, they were made by Miatos. Now, Reverse Studio is jumping in. Must be a collab. Either that or Reverse Studio is a branch of Miatos, which I think is very unlikely. Must be a collab. Not unusual, because this reminds me of the 7 Deadly Sins, right? The 7 Sins, those 7 edgy figures. Half of them were made by Amakuni, the other half was Orchid Seed, even though they obviously are one set. So there we go. Must be a collaboration, because one company does not have the resources to make everything on time. If you're into this kind of creative art style figures, then this is worth considering. Quite a nice concept art. Not my kind of thing though. Moving on to the next one here, Non-Skill Piccolo from Dragon Ball Arise by Plex. Plex seems to be making Dragon Ball stuff only recently. 28,000 yen, July release, and yeah, I have nothing much to say. To me, Piccolo is like an S-rank goblin. that's what I see him as. Is he really a goblin? Let me know in the comments below, because I don't watch Dragon Ball. Okay, moving on to the next one here. Now we go into low budget figure territory. I think this is from Miatos, Gift Plus Series 1/8 scale, March 7th, The Hunt by Honkai, from Honkai Star Rail, I mean. So 6,600 yen, releasing this September. I would consider getting one. I would consider. But right now, the only March 7th figure I need is the one by Apex Toys. Yeah, the one where she has a crossbow. I like that figure so much. So I'm patiently waiting for that. This is like a budget version of March 7th. If 23,000 yen is too much for you, then look into this one, because Miatos figures are really good. Like really good. Yeah. Moving on to the next one here. Oh, another big win for the week for anime characters. We have Pop-Up Red Leopard L size from Gushing Over Magical Girls, 8,000 yen before discounts. October release. Hell yeah. So I think Leopard is one of the more popular characters, right? Right after the main character. What's her name again? Man, I'm so bad at remembering names. Not too surprised. Sometimes I don't even remember my own colleagues' names, just because they are in a different department, even though we belong in the same building. Yeah. So this is coming out this October, and boy, I have not even purchased Magia Baser yet. I kind of want one, the Pop-Up Red L of Magia Baser. Might as well collect the set. This is looking great, and she has a really nice backside. Once again, this is also the week of the butt, apparently. Moving on to the last 4 figures of the week. These actually went on pre-order on HLJ. Was it? No. Went on pre-order on AmiAmi on Saturday. Last Saturday, a week before, and then HLJ listed it much later on Monday or Tuesday. So we have 4 low-budget figures from Cyber Agent, formerly known as E-Stream and Shibuya Scramble figure. We have Lifa. Canterbury is the name of the product line. Like Good Smile has their pop-up rate. For Cyber Agent, they call it Canterbury for their low-budget figures. Lifa from SAO, 6,000 yen. And then we have Asuna, 6,000 yen. Asuna looks quite nice actually. And then we have Alice, 6,000 yen. This Alice, the face is okay, but she kind of looks like, how do I even describe it? It almost feels like looking at the price figure in some way. Like the gold paint over there looks a little bit cheapish. At least that is the impression I got. And of course, we have Xenon, obviously. But this is the version of Xenon which I hate. I prefer the GGO version. Big sniper rifle, pew pew. I love big guns. Are there even low budget SAO figures out there? I don't think so, right? I mean, if you exclude the ones by Good Smile, the pop-up rate, the standard pop-up rate, and price figures, are there pop-up rate Ls of SAO characters? I don't remember. Maybe there is, but I can't remember. But yeah, I don't think there are any low budget skills. The size is 20.8 cm, 21 cm, so this is closer to 1/8 scale, which is nice to see because the standard pop-up rate is too small in my opinion. Yeah, so 1/8 is just the nice size for low budget figures, just like what Apex Toys is doing with their budget figures, the Lime Pie series 1/8, and Meatost Gift Plus earlier also 1/8. Okay, moving on to the AmiAmi section for exclusives. Okay, the first one here, Hatsune Miku Delight Fairy Style by Pony Canyon. I remember this very well from OneFest. And I questioned the pink color wings over there because it looks so out of place. The whole figure is turquoise, but you have bright pink wings over there. Yeah. Almost 25k. Pretty expensive. Let's have a look. You have to be a pretty hardcore Miku fan to pre-order this thing because there are better, there are nicer Miku figures out there. This is like Sakura Miku yet not Sakura at the same time, you know. But the clear parts they used for the wings is quite nice looking. Yeah. For me, I remember Pony Canyon best for the Azur no Shiro figure, the one in uniform with a ship part behind, 40,000 yen like that nowadays. Yeah, that was pretty nice. Okay, moving on to the next one here. This is not an exclusive, but at the time of filming this video, not yet listed in HLJ. The Hungry Lamp traveling in the late Ming Dynasty, Man Sui Sui. Oh, I've heard of this name before, Man Sui Sui. I think it is like his Chinese history of some kind. Yeah, the dynasty stuff. 7,000 yen by at least Elixir Dream, Chinese figure brand, November 2025 release. 1/7 for 7,000 yen, nice, but I want my lollies. I'll get those 2 lollies earlier from HLJ. Okay, otherwise, this is still not a bad value at all, right? Like, who can say no to these low budget scale figures as long they turn out somewhat decent? I would always recommend them, yeah. Moving on to the next figure, the last 5 figures on AmiAmi, they are, yeah, kind of, This one here, Pink Cat. This figure, I think it might be an oversight from AmiAmi because they forgot to put this figure in the adult section. The other 4, they are in the adult section, but not this one somehow. I'm not sure why, other than an oversight. Bernstein Fantasy Nadeshiko Hush Hush Clinic version, 1/6 scale by Pink Cat. Excellent brand. 30,000 yen, big oof. But this is customable, so with all those extra parts considered reasonable, I suppose. Releasing this October very fast. How does a brand like Pink Cat get their stuff out so fast? That is a mystery to me. But at the same time, they don't announce many figures from what I remember. Sometimes 1 month, every 1 or 2 months, they only announce 1 figure sometimes. Yeah, that might be why. Moving on to the next one. This is one of my favorite ecchi figures this week. I couldn't decide whether I like this one more or that Imai Jumin Chi figure earlier from the H anime. But this one is a lot more detailed, so I'm leaning towards this one being my favorite of the week. Mitsuhime illustration by Quadruple XL. Wow. 1/6 scale Vibrastar. Another brand that I can highly recommend. 26,400 yen, and this being customable, which means extra parts, that is a great price. February year 26 release. In case you guys did not know, Vibrastar is actually the 18+ branch of any game. Some people might not expect it because the names are so different, like one would not expect any connections, but yeah. Yeah, even myfigurecollection.net also mentions it as such, like related companies section over there can go and have a look. Any game, Vibrastar, and any gift, they're all connected. Interesting. This figure, I want it so badly, but I couldn't review it on YouTube. At most, I could upload a video of it on Patreon maybe, if I do ever get one. I don't know yet, but I like this so much. Yeah. Moving up to the next ecchi figure. So this character here, Mifuyo Yukino, unfortunately, I know nothing about the artist behind this character, but it must be someone very popular and very famous, because the last time I shared a figure of this character, but it was a 1/6 by a different company, a lot of people were so excited to see it, a lot of shares on my Facebook, and I was spending minutes asking myself, what is it so special about this figure? I kept looking at the pictures. What is it so special about it? I have no idea. And it is not like the pose is that unique either, because there are so many figures in this missionary pose. The one I just covered, Mitsuhime or something like that earlier, same pose as well. But hey, I mean, I'm happy to see any artist succeed, because nowadays, they really get the short end of the stick when it comes to the world of this corporate world. Don't get me started how artists are being treated. AI is threatening to take their jobs, and they have so many other shades to deal with. So to see any artist succeed, multiple figures made, I'm happy for them, truly happy for them. Yeah. So back to this figure over here. This is a 1x4 version by Binding, 39,600 yen, and factoring in her popularity that I mentioned earlier, yes, pre-order it. If you really like her, the value is guaranteed to go up after release. So moving on to the next one here. Wow. Original character by Amamitsuki M Domination. Yeah. This would be a nicer pet than an average dog, to some people at least, but some of you would prefer dogs, right? Anyways, this is a 1x4 by Magic Bullets. 42,000 yen is a big oof, very expensive, yep. And this is coming out this December 25. Now this gives me those vibes of that top students in your class, that really studious girl. Yeah, which means wearing glasses all the time, but she has a screw loose secretly, but no one in her class knows. Alright, moving on to the next one, the last figure over here. This is, from their adult section. Is it because this figure is made by Native? Yeah, partly why, but this is actually an action figure. And when you see the accessories that come with this figure, oh boy, I want it. It is hilarious. And I couldn't even put the pictures on screen, which is really sad because no adult toys. Nope. So with whatever face expression he has over there, and the object he has on his crotch and both of his hands, you already know what it is. Yep. So I'll leave it to imagination and head over to AmiAmi to check out the pictures, because this is so hilarious. Yeah. 15,400 yen, releasing this October. Kanikama original character, Kanikama Sensei. Must be the mascot character of an existing artist or mangaka. Yeah. Last stop, Ninin game, 3 figures this week, not many. By Insight, we have, Horny Nan Sheila. I love Ahegao faces, but I don't love the brand Insight. 23,000 yen, releasing in... what's the release date? September. Alright. It feels like Insight releases like 20 or 30 different figures in one single month. It is insane. And that is why they couldn't fix the quality, like the quality control. Everyone knows by now how bad it is. Like, please cut down the number of stuff you make. Please. The second one here, Ghost Photo Book Hanako of the Toilet. There is a hitch. There are a number of hitch animes involving this character. 22,200 yen, releasing in September as well. And the last genuine figure this week, Bound Princess Sakurako. This one is nothing special really, like the Imaizominchi figure earlier, ribbons tying her up. 23,000 yen at 1x5 scale. September release as well. A lot of September releases. Okay, and that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now I move on to third-party resin figures, making use of Osh GK, which is our partner for third parties. As usual, if you are interested in buying anything from OshGK or HLJ, please make use of my affiliate links as a way of supporting this channel. Links in the descriptions below. Alright, moving on to third-party resins on this week. Not as many figures as last week, I think. Not as many as the genuine ones, but we have some nice stuff. Starting off with Anya, like 3 or 4 Anya figures this week. The first one is cosplay Hatake Kakashi from Naruto. Pink hair and white hair version, $111 each. This is hard to choose. Yeah. However, the next one is another one here, cost Kakashi, $109. So many versions here. Sharingan pink hair version, Mangekyo pink hair version. Is it the eyes that's different? Must be the eyes, yep. Anya pink hair version. Yeah, different eyes. It is so easy to make all these variations when you are just changing the colors of a very few number of parts, or just changing the decals on the eye. Yeah, not my kind of thing. The third one here, this is very adorable. And you know, there was one Anya figure from a few weeks ago. There were people accusing that, hey, that is just, what to call that? It is just AI artwork. And this one over here, cosplay Sengoku, the face at least, it does remind me of AI artwork as well. But is it really AI? Nobody knows at this point. Right? If you feel that AI is being used and you do not want to support that, then it is simple. Don't buy it. Right? There's so many other options out there. I get the hostility against AI artwork, right? Like I said earlier, artists are getting screwed over, but it is just a tool, in my opinion. And sometimes have to adapt to changes. Okay, so back to this figure over here. I do like the face. She's cute. And are we getting only this version? No yellow hair version? No? Or black hair version? But still pretty cute nonetheless. Very cute face. And the fourth one here, cosplay as Supergirl, which is quite a nice crossover. This feels like something you actually see children dress up as, you know, they love their Supermans, the Supergirls, Batmans, and so on. So, while I see so many Anya figures cosplaying various kinds of anime characters, the one that feels really relatable, this is one of very few because, yeah, Superman, I guess. So this is $84 only, including that base over there. Not a bad price at all, quite cheap. Yeah, we have a base and a cape behind her. And then moving on to the next one here, what is this, man? One Piece Thriller Buck Wedding Dress Nami by A+ Studio. Feels like looking at an Android, at the same time it is not. $56, December release. No, please don't buy something like this. Okay, moving on to the next one. Another low detail One Piece figure. We have Kuja Pirates Pop Complete Resonance Series, Shakuyaku and Ran. Two different figures over here at 1/7 scale, $185 each. Let's have a look. Not very high res, the images. You know what? This almost feels like looking at gashapons, you know? Yeah, but except they are bigger. They are scale figure size. But, I mean, the really bland standing there pose really reminds me of gashapons in some way. Okay, moving on to the next one here. Sakura Studio, Naruto Light Statue Resonance Series. What's her name? Yamanaka Ino. 100... Oh, two figures over here again. Aburame Shino and Yamanaka In. Okay, $184 is just right, I suppose, given the base over there. And Yamanaka Ito. This reminds me a lot about the Bandai figures. Yeah. Figure Arts Zero. Really reminds me of that. Yeah. But this is bigger at 1/7 scale. Next one here, another bad looking figure sort of. I know that the last 5-7 figures are pretty bad looking, but we'll get into the good stuff, right? Because you always save the best for the last. Motorcycle Launch. I remember Bandai Omega House having something similar. Yeah. And this is going for $123, pretty cheap December release. Moving on to the next one, 1x3 skill Ahri. This is more like Dolphy, but as Ahri from League of Legends by Fang Blue GK Studio, $657. Yup. And there is KDA here as well. I don't like their faces, man. This reminds me of Barbie dolls in a way. I don't like their faces. Oh, come on, it's not switching back. I have to scroll and scroll. Alright, let's have a look. Yeah, Ahri's face is a bit nicer. KDA feels a bit off. $657 is about the price of a Dolphy Dream as well, right? A BJD doll. Moving on to the next one. Wow. This is straight off the collaboration between Spy Family and Street Fighter. And I did watch the trailer video. It was awesome. So coming from X-Peak Studio, which is formerly known as ACY Studio. Yup, they changed their name because they don't want the government over in China to, I mean, they might have been marked by the government, right, because of their past of making edgy figures. So a lot of figure brands will choose to rebrand themselves. Okay, Chun-Li versus Your Forger. Of course, you will want to get it as a set. Why would you buy them separately for $435? It makes no sense. This is the collab. Based on the collab, you need a set which will set you back at $729, over 55 cm each. Wouldn't it be nice if Bandai actually came up with a 1/7 scale or 1/6 scale? I don't see them doing it, unfortunately. If Mega House were to do something like this, they would shrink it to somewhere around 1/8 to 1/10 scale and then ask 35,000 yen for you. Yeah, that is how Mega House rolls. This is 1/4. And guess what? I don't see any genuine figure brands doing something like this at 1/4. So yeah, cough up that $730 if you want one. This is worth it, really, if you like this collab. Moving on to the next one, GN Studio has a 1/4 scale of Reze from Chainsaw Man. Almost $400 for the one with DLC. Okay, I'm surprised that Chainsaw Man is still alive because I heard the anime did so badly. Like Blu-ray sales was horrible. In my opinion, at least, the anime adaptation was very overrated, very overhyped from the very beginning. It was okay. It was entertaining somewhat, but it isn't as good as what the semi-normies online, the filthy casuals online are saying. Yeah, they don't feel that good to me. So this is coming out in December again, and man, that is a lot of that is a big arsenal down there. How is this related to Reze? I don't get it. So random. Right, moving on to the next one here. Oh yeah, Kuro Ino series, another H anime with Dark Elf, Queen, Olga, Discordia, different color. Okay, regular version is like $330 and the deluxe version with the cast off parts is $484. Yes, this is cast offable. I'm making that clear right now. So yeah, get the deluxe one because who doesn't love Ahegao faces, right? And yes, if you feel like you've seen this figure before, yes, this came out once already in the white version. Now you get the black version. Yeah, Dark Elves are hot. Why not? So this is good. If you like her, go for it. Moving on to the next one here, We Art Doing Studio. So I wanted to discuss more about this brand, but I would prefer not to talk too much about this brand because no, I'm not spoiling anything yet. There's something coming. So this brand, they do their own original concept art. And I had one post on Facebook back then about one of their figures, their food series, right? Which went viral, like almost 5,000 shares. And I was pretty dumbfounded. I was pretty dumbfounded by how popular that thing is. Yeah, it was very creative. It was something new and an idea that I've never seen anyone do before. And they continue with that track record over there with their original artwork. This time around, we have Beauty Glass Slipper Fairies. 3 colors over here, each $189. And I have to say that this really reminds me of Gram from ReZero. But if you look a little bit closer, there are many subtle differences, right? It just looks like her a little bit. And because of her resemblance to Ram, I'm leaning towards this blue color version over here. This is beautiful. And you see how her leg and her hand slowly transitions into pure crystal. This is beautiful. And even if this was actually Ram, this is a Ram figure that I would gladly have one in my collection. This is, I love this so much. And we have more color variants over here. They have a lot of pictures. Okay, this is the purple violet version. Some of you may prefer the purple version. And even though I like my purple waifus, I don't feel like this one stands out as much as the blue one. Right? Yep, there we go. This is the violet version. And there is the third color, this one over here. OSGK calls this the red color version. This is obviously not red. But the problem I have with this one is the colors are oversaturated, like too intense. Yeah. It feels like a figure with really strong blue LED on it. I would rather them come up with some other color. Yeah. The colors on this is too intense. So I still prefer this Ram blue over here. And this is really nice, man. Yep. Coming out in December. Pricing is reasonable, I would say. Moving on to the next one here. Oh, Project Sekai Rabbit Hatsune Miku. And for some reason, they keep loading this version of Miku. This is like the third figure of her, where she appears to be making green tea. Yeah. So, wow, Green Tea Studio. And she's making green tea down there. Unfortunately, that is all I can show you, but you can already imagine what this figure is about. $185 customable. So that is not a bad price at all, considering the extra parts you're getting. December release again. I know that it is scary to see so many figures coming out in December every week, but I would imagine that a lot of them will not make it out on time. Still, plan a budget accordingly so that you don't end up cancelling too much stuff later on. Moving on to the next one. Another win for anime characters this week. Coming from Heaven's Lost Property. What was the name of the Japanese title again? Anyways, I watched this anime when I was in college. Laughed my ass off. It was hilarious. Especially episode 4, where we have this exploding pantsu. Because the guy is just too dry and horny, then they applied some kind of magic where whenever a pantsu comes into his view, it would explode. So he go and pick on this girl, the childhood friend, when she is undressing, and pom! Was funny. So back to this figure over here, Ikaros. It has been a long time since last time I saw an Ikaros figure. A lot of her genuine licensed PVC figures nowadays are so old, at least 10 years old, that I find it hard to recommend because, if you buy a brand new figure that has been sealed in box for the past 10 years, you can imagine the potential issues that will come with it, stickiness and so on. So this one is not bad at all for $209 as long you're okay with resin, obviously. Distal Senton Studio is, great. I loved their freelance figure, and they have a few figures already released, by the way. Just look for them in Discord groups of GK figures or even Reddit. Check out the pictures. This is a pretty safe pre-order for $209. Very reasonable at 1/6 scale, considering that she has a large pair of wings. So this is comparable to the likes of Albedo, for example. Yeah. Moving up next, we have Vladilena Milidze from 86 at 1/6 scale by Huixiang Studio. December release again. Wow. $192. So another win for anime characters, but my favorite Vladilena figure is probably the one by Kadokawa, where she appears to be leaning forward a bit, holding her barrette like that in military uniform. That was really nice. A bit hard to find nowadays, and I think the value has gone up a bit. Yeah. This one is okay. Like Huishan Studio, their figures so far are pretty fine. Unfortunately, this version of Vladilena, her face is a bit off, don't you think? I loved the anime, by the way. And yeah, this doesn't look like her that much. I think it is the eyes. And I would prefer a sterner look in her face rather than one that is of empathy or pity. Like, she looks pretty sad over here. A bit out of character, a bit. Like, she did have empathy for the bunch of children she was commanding over, but still, this feels a little bit out of character somehow, but I'm not sure how to describe it in more detail. Or yeah. So, this is one of those Huixiang Studio figures that can't really recommend unless they change her face. Moving on to the next one from Popo Studio, we have Pyra doing yoga from Xenoblade, $142 at 1/6 scale, December release again. You don't need another figure in December that looks like this, which is to say very simple and plain. This is very similar to the yoga figure, Yura yoga figure that I reviewed from SSR figure. Go and get that, even though it is the 1/7. Yeah. Pyra and Mitra, they need to be in their game battle outfit, not this. Okay, moving up to the next one. This is a prototype, work in progress, no price, no release date yet. The face looks really good. This Artoria Pendragon Saber over here from Fate Stay Night by Artbox Studio. And is this going to be a bust figure or something? No, they're just showing off a partially finished figure. Face is nice, but the hair is pretty rough, but I suppose that I cannot judge too early because this is a prototype once again. I mean, I just experienced what a prototype is like with my recent Onigiri figure, so shouldn't be judging too early. Initially, I thought these were 3D printing lines, but no, this is real texture. Yeah, cloth-like texture on the outfit, on the armor. But I can't say I like this version of Saber because the color looks a little bit too dull to my taste. Okay, moving on to the next one here. I have no idea who this is. Her name is Ting Yu. I almost thought this is a Honkai style character. But apparently this is a licensed figure yet. There is no title over here, just a name Ting Yu. So I'm going to assume this is an original character for now by Yunyi Studio. And this is $21. What? Oh, I think I know what this is. This is probably like low budget PVC figure, not resin, low budget PVC figure. And when the final product does come out, it is probably closer to price figure quality. It is entirely possible because we have brands like El Coco, which is Design Coco's budget figure brand, El Coco, who are able to make 1/7 scale figures at 3,000 yen. 3,000. So $21 is quite close to 3,000 yen. And the only thing being that this is 1/6. I'm not sure if it is even possible to do a 1/6 scale PVC figure at what, $21. I'm so curious that I feel like pre-ordering it just because it is $21 and the deposit is like $3. That is the cost of one meal, cost of lunch. So I'm very curious, man. But seeing the price of some bootleg figures over in Taobao or other Chinese websites, I suppose that it is not too surprising that they could make something like this at $21. Yeah, not too surprising. Alright, moving on to the next one. We have 3 Honkai style figures, and the first one here is the best one that I can't afford. Sadly, from Hakimi Studio. They have a lot of stuff already released. Just check out user pictures. I think the figures are fine. This is Fei Xiao from Honkai Star Rail. And the most expensive version is actually you're buying 2 figures. Deluxe version, there are 2 figures for $591. But if you want the only one in this picture over here, game official version, I think. Yes. This is $435. Can't say I'm too surprised. Ho. $435, and considering that this is resin with that face over there, this thing is virtually perfect. as long the final product looks exactly like this, this is already a perfect facial figure, man. Especially when they include that. So for third parties, this is the highlight of the week. Please get it if you want one. Yeah, this is worth it. And there is a second figure over here, a second version. Version B, story version they call it, but this is just her in gym. This is nice to have. I really like this. Is it yoga, whatever? This is nice to have, but I wouldn't make it a priority. I would settle for the main version. So the story version, this one is $163, very reasonable. And I almost want it for the props over there, the gym props over there, the weightlifting stuff. But if I had to choose, obviously it would be this one right here. Just that, yeah, you need the space to display it. Right, moving on to the next Honkai style figure with Bunny Girl Firefly by Yowu Studio, $142. Two versions over here with stocking legs or with barrel legs. I prefer with stockings, obviously. They're not using real fabric. I don't know why. Maybe it is impossible to insert fabric parts into resin figures. So far, I've noticed that almost every resin figure that feature bunny outfit, they don't use real fabric for the stocking part, which is interesting. My only guess over here is that, yeah, the legs could be separate parts from the main body, but they couldn't insert it and then plug it in. It doesn't work. That's my guess over here. As for Firefly, well, this does look like Firefly to me, but yeah, look for the... Obviously, look for the official game outfit version first before you buy anything like this. Next one here, Kafka again, from Jigen World Studio. This is their second Kafka figure. Colors are pretty dull, unfortunately. Yeah, like not very striking. I'm not sure if I like this Kafka figure. $244, December release. Tough sell, because now we have the Apex Toys one, right? 122,000 yen. So this is a tough sell. Nothing much wrong with the face, quite similar to how she looks like in the game. Shading is a bit lacking. Yeah, I would get the Apex Toys version at this point. Moving on to the next one. This is my second favorite figure this week on the third party site. After that facial figure earlier, we have Kinugawa Kasumi from Blue Archive by Min Studio. Man, Min Studio is coming up with great stuff lately, and they are not too expensive. $145 releasing in December. There's something about this figure that is so attractive, and I'm not sure what it is. Perhaps it is because I love my lollies, that's why. But this is very nice for $145. 1/6 scale. Right. And moving on to the next one, we have Silence Suzuka by Beast Studio. Swimsuit version, $167, June year 26 release. Now, this is a Silence Suzuka figure that I cannot recommend. I would rather you go out and get the one by Fat Company. Yes, the AmiAmi exclusive. Was it? Kotobukiya already has one, already out, I think. Not sure, but Fat Company also has one, I think, which was AmiAmi exclusive, and she is wearing a very beautiful uniform, very detailed. I would rather take my chances with that. This is like a plain bikini figure, and you're paying $167. Nope. And the last figure for this week from Yams Collector Studio. This is an early bird pre-order, no price or release date yet. Azulane Elsais and Locker Room Lacquerie Morgador. Alright. I'm predicting like $200 each. Yeah. Could be cheaper, could be, but for now I'll say $200 each. And their posts complement each other so well. Like this is something I would see in, yeah, a fashion shoot on the beach. Pose is nice, face expression is nice, but they are not touching that facial figure earlier, isn't it? Yeah. So that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one will you get? Let me know down in the comments below. Please do join my Discord server if you haven't done so. Link in the descriptions below. And I'll see you guys again soon. Give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more content like this every week. Until then, I'll see you guys again soon. Goodbye.